Now I'm going to talk about how to form the imperative in Turkish, so how to give orders and commands in Turkish. We'll start by looking at how to give commands, how to form the imperative in the second person singular, so addressing just one person, perhaps informally. We'll start with the verb stem. For our first example, let's use bakmak, the Turkish verb meaning to look. So bak. And actually, for the second person singular, that's all we have to do. Bak, look. That's your imperative form. But sometimes we'll be addressing more than one person, or we'll want to be particularly polite or formal. So there are two other forms we can use. Again, if we're addressing one person more formally, or if we are addressing more than one person, we can add a form of this ending according to the rules of four-way vowel harmony. So again, we'll start with the verb stem, bak, and choose the appropriate version according to the rules of four-way vowel harmony. So in, un, and un. For bakmak, we'll choose un. Bakın, look. Now, notice that there's an optional ye, which we can add as a buffer if our verb stem ends in a vowel. Bak does not end in a vowel, so in this particular case, we don't need the buffer ye. Bakın. Now, if we want to be very formal, very polite to one person, or if we want to be polite, formal to more than one person, we can add the appropriate form of this ending to our verb stem. So for bakmak, bak. Now our choices are iniz, unuz, unuz, or unuz. For bakmak, four-way vowel harmony, bakınız. Look. But this time more formally. This is a version you might see on a sign or in written Turkish more commonly. But it can also be spoken. Bakınız. Let's look at another example verb, this time with a stem that does end in a vowel. So let's look at okumak, to read. For our second person singular, we'll just use the verb stem, oku, read. If we want to be a little more formal to one person, or if we are addressing more than one person, oku, verb stem, plus the appropriate form of this suffix, but this time with our buffer ye. So oku, yun. Okuyun, read. Finally, if we want to be even more formal or more polite to a single individual, or if we are addressing a group, oku, again we need our buffer ye, and then unuz, okuyunuz, read. Let's look at a couple more examples quickly. Let's see the verb yüzmek, to swim. Yüz, swim. Being a little more formal to one person or addressing more than one. Yüzün, swim. We can put in an exclamation mark to remind us that these are imperatives, these are commands. If we want to be even more formal or more polite to a single individual, or if we're addressing a group, yüzünüz, swim. Finally, one more example, söylemek, the Turkish verb for to tell. Söyle, tell. Söyle, ends in a vowel. Buffer ye, and the appropriate form of the ending according to the rules of four-way vowel harmony. Söyleyin, tell. And finally, söyleyiniz, söyleyiniz, tell. And that's how you form commands or orders in the imperative in Turkish.